VVV2 ね。
Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's stream. Hopefully you can hear this. This is a new... I haven't played a stream on PlayStation 5 as yet, so I have absolutely no idea if this is going to work well or not. I'm really relying on just everything working. I haven't even... the interface is different. It's all very confusing. But anyway, I did want to play this Neptunia Virtual Stars because this is the new Hyperdimension Neptunia game as such, and I'm a big fan of the series, so embargo is lifted and I figured I'd give people a first look ahead of my review later this week or early next week. I just hope this is working, I really do. I'm just going to test it, so you'll hear it echo for half a second, but I just want to make sure that my voice is coming through. It is. It's probably a bit loud, but anyway. Let's just see if I can mess around with the... I mean, the music's a bit loud, I think, so yeah. I'm just going to turn all of this down, and then hopefully you'll be able to hear me okay. So, apologies while I get all of this sorted. Luckily, there's nobody on the stream live right now. Hopefully, once this is sorted, I'll be ready to go and do a stream and show you what the game's all about. And then we'll get some playtime done. And hopefully people will join me then too. That's the goal. Alright, let's just check that. And if that's working, then we'll be ready to share this and then get into the game. I haven't even shared this anywhere, so that might be why nobody's jumped on just yet. So you'll hear echo again just for half a second. Okay, you can hear me good. Alright, we are good to go. So I'm just going to share this on Twitter. And then if you watch this on playback afterwards, apologies for the first couple of seconds of playtime, but we'll be back with the actual game soon enough. In the meantime, you can enjoy this rather lovely intro scene, which is the theme of the game. Right, okay, so I've just put out a tweet inviting people to join me, as I always do before these things. Apologies again, this is all a little bit uncontrolled and unorganized, but I usually use OBS and stream through an Elgato thing for my Nintendo Switch streams, whereas with this one I'm streaming directly through the PlayStation 5, so again, it is very new, and if you're watching this on playback, apologies for the first couple of minutes of nonsense as I get myself sorted. But we are here now, and we're going to get into it in just a second. Give people a moment or two more to jump on and say hello if they want to. Hopefully the YouTube link works and everything. But then we will be going. We'll get going with this. If at any point you can't hear me clearly, we now have a second person watching, so if you can't hear me clearly, just let me know and I'll mess around with the sound settings more, because I have to do all of that manually as well. I can't just click a button like I can when I stream via my PC and YouTube. Alright, so what I've done actually is I've already played the game for a little while. I played it for about an hour and a half last night when I first got the code, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I didn't try and stream that part of the game, because the first hour or so is basically one very long cutscene dialogue thing, and while it's pretty funny and amusing as you would expect for a Neptunia game, it's not the most engaging content as such. So what I've done is I've played through the tutorial, and I'm just about up to the kind of the tutorial boss, so you'll get to see some action pretty much straight away, and from there the game will start in proper. So I've saved you the first hour or so of it, because that would not have made for an engaging stream at all. Here we go, so we'll just load it up. Now this is also playable on PlayStation 4 It is a PlayStation 4 game. In fact, there is no PlayStation 5 up resolution or anything like that. I've just played it on my PS5 because I pretty much retired my PS4 at this point. I don't actually really use it anymore. So, here we go. We're getting straight into combat straight away. Now, the interesting thing about this game is it actually has two different styles of combat. When you're playing as the VTubers, which is what I'm doing here, it is a kind of a Dynasty Warriors thing, really. It plays like a Dynasty Warriors thing anyway. But if you play as the Neptunia girls, which I'll do in a second, it has a very different flavour. It plays more like a third-person shooter-y kind of thing. So you get both in one. It's an all-in-one package. But these are VTubers. Now, I don't actually know that much about VTubers, I must admit. I haven't really followed along. I'm obviously a huge fan of Hatsune Miku as a virtual celebrity, but I just haven't got into the VTuber space, and it's just so packed and full now. I'm just not sure that I will be able to break through and figure out what it's all about. So the VTubers that are in this game, I believe, are real characters or real VTubers, but I don't know who they are, and I don't know how popular they are. I have no idea about any of that. Okay, so there we go. We won the battle with these characters. Now you can heal them. So you got the little health bar down the bottom. That also changes depending on whether you're using the Neptunia girls or the VTubers. Now these VTubers are me and you or something. I can't remember what their group name is, but they're actually the characters that sing the song that you would have seen at the start of the game. That's them. But let's change over to... Let's change to the Neptunia girls, shall we? Oops. There we go. So that's Blanc, as I'm pretty sure anybody who knows the Neptunia girls knows that's Blanc. She's my favourite. Big fan of Blanc. And there we go. So we're at the first boss now, I think. The tutorial boss. And there's all the other girls. So they've all had, the Neptunia girls have all had costume changes for this game. And I believe this one's notable because it's the first time that the series artist Tsunako has not contributed the character designs. She went freelance, I think it was about 1.5 or 2 years ago now, and she's continued to contribute to Idea Factory since going freelance, but this one she didn't. So this is a new artist who has emulated Tsunako's style, but also put their own, their own artistic creations over the top. And those costumes, I believe, would have come from that alternative artist, and they're pretty neat. I like them. I like Neptune's in particular. So I hope this is working. Once again, I hope this is working. Otherwise, this stream has been a whole waste of time, and I will not be doing another PlayStation 5 stream. Sorry, just putting out another tweet just to see if I can get somebody to jump on and confirm this is working. Actually, so what was I saying? Yeah, I like the character designs in this. I haven't seen them in their god form yet, because as anybody who's played a Neptunia game knows, they have a god form, but they haven't done that yet. Oh, there we go. Beaten on easy. Welcome, Beaten on easy. I can see your little message pop up on the screen as you're as you're making the comments. Yeah, they certainly emphasized her chest with that costume. It's actually the same size. Before the start of this game, when the characters are in their own world, before they kind of get sucked into this virtual world, you see them in their original costumes, and Vert looks normal. So it's just the costume that has done that to her, but it's certainly emphasized her assets. And I do agree, they look like beach balls. But again, I like Neptune's. I like Neptune's costume. It's revealing in a very classy way. Okay, so I think we're about to fight a boss now. Let's see what this boss is like, shall we? Oops. I should say that from my play last night, I'm still getting a hang of the controls and stuff. It's a bit twitchy. And I don't know if that's just me getting to grips with things or it's actually a issue with the game, but it is very twitchy and the camera is a little bit wonky. I mean, you never play a Neptunia game expecting it to be this wonderfully, refined experience, but this one, yeah, it might just take some getting used to. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to beat this boss. Probably not. Let's see. I'm not generally good at boss fights. I imagine that's the boss. Very typical looking Compol Heart Idea Factory boss. The name Head Boss, I love it. Head Boss. So far as I've been playing, this game has had all the hallmarks of a Neptunia game, which I like. It's got fourth wall breaking humour. It's got a lot of nonsense. It's got a fair dose of fan service. As I start to jump around, you'll see plenty of upskirts and panties underneath. That is all very typical Neptunia stuff. And yeah, there's a lot of kind of in-joking and commentary as you play along. At the start, they talk an awful lot about content. They keep using the word content quite deliberately, and I almost wonder if somebody at Idea Factory has noticed my tweets and decided to turn that into a concept for a game, because I was grinding my teeth through that introduction as they kept talking about content being this magical thing. I actually haven't noticed Noir's hair not being glitched at the moment. I must admit I haven't noticed that. I don't know why I haven't noticed, but I'm sure I will now that you've pointed it out to me. There's Noir and Blanc. So maybe you can tell me beaten on easy, because I know that you're aware of this stuff a lot more than I do. I am. Are the VTubers in this game actual VTubers, or have they made them up? Because I wasn't sure. Like I was saying before you jumped on, I don't really follow the VTuber space, so I don't really know what whether these are real characters or whatever. Oh, there you go. The Japanese version also uses content, so somebody's been following me in Japanese as well. I like it. They are all real. Cool, thanks for confirming that. I'm glad. I thought I read that somewhere, and yeah, that's neat. Good of them to bring them in. I think it's a good mix. I mean, the Neptunia girls and VTubers always did seem like they belonged in the same space anyway. So making making a game that combines the two worked, I think, as a concept. There we go. As I said before, the potential of your charm, your content, is the very source of your power. This game really lays it on hard. I'm grinding my teeth again. It includes Hearts, who is Compile Heart's unofficial VTuber. Oh, cool. She got fired on the first day because she didn't play Compile Heart games. I love it. Mutual, that's the name of the group. I couldn't remember it. Mutual, so that's me and you. They make up a group called Mutual. And like I said, that song that you hear at the start of the game actually comes from them. Big boost for them. Yes, indeed, Compile Heart games are an addiction. I love them. They're not perfect by any means, but I just love them. You can certainly criticise the way they play and whatever, but they just have this charm and they're unique. You don't play anything like a Compile Heart game unless it's made by Compile Heart, so I always find the time for these. Welcome to the stream too, by the way, Dave. I'm glad it worked. I was so nervous that it wouldn't. There we go, they got overflowing power. You are so right. Every Neptunia game is like the same 20 and the 20 before them. Just imagine what they can possibly do with ray tracing when they start making actual PlayStation 5 games. Ray traced Neptunia. That'll be great. Or a new VR Neptunia. Did you see that Sony's got its next presentation coming up tomorrow, I think it is, and they're teasing a new. Oh, now I can see the glitch of the Noir's hair beaten on easy. I can see it glitching right there. Yeah, they got a new VR thing that they're teasing. Hopefully, it's a wireless one. If they could get a wireless VR headset into my living room, I think I will never take it off. I quite liked PlayStation VR, but it is clunky and clumsy to use, so I'm really hoping that this new VR thing that they're teasing, the next generation of VR, just enhances things in the right way. Now I see Noir is not the one true goddess because I'm much more of a Blanc guy. I like Blanc. Yeah, you keep telling yourself that, Neptune. She keeps thinking that she's got charisma. So this is all just banter. I'm just skipping through it. I'm not really paying attention to it because I'm busy streaming. But yeah, this is all just banter. There's a lot of it. This game really front ends a lot of banter. Oh, I see. A single chord as opposed to two chord. Well, that would still help, I think. As long as it was more flexible. I mean, the thing with this PlayStation, first generation PlayStation VR, is it's very hard to move around with. And as long as that one chord is flexible, then that's still a big step up, I think. Yeah, cordless is the ideal. That's the holy grail for VR. I think it was also, I mean, if they can get the weight of the headset down a bit too. It was a little bit heavy to play for a while, for the long term. So here they're just talking up all their various nations. Really, I just want to get to this boss battle, which we've been waiting for 15 minutes now. They're talking a lot. There is a lot of fan service in this one. There really is. Yeah, I was actually saying a little bit earlier, we're talking about Vert here. They actually show her in her original costume just before, at the very start of the game, before they pull them into this virtual world that they're in. And in her original costume, she has her normal sized chest. So I think it's just the costume design which is making things look ridiculous. I think. But they certainly look huge. Are we turning into goddess form now? I think we are. Pudding time, yes. I do like that they've given Neptune a pleat skirt. I like pleat skirts. I like pleat skirts a whole lot. I really like her costume in this game. It's a very much a me kind of fan service costume. Okay. MV battles are boss battles you fight as V idols along to music. Well, this is not going to work because I've had to turn the music off so I can concentrate on the stream. That's going to be fun. Okay, so power resides in an MV battle song, affecting the battle. The bar at the bottom left of the screen progresses following the song. So it's basically a rhythm game that you're playing. Also, when you reach the blue colored gauge that deals damage to the enemy, the crystallization of songs, sound prisms will appear. Okay. Let's see how we go. Head boss. Let's take on head boss. Ow! We got a hit. So far I'm doing alright. So Blanca's, they've all got different guns that they use, which is pretty cool. I like Blanca's one because it's like this wind up big damage attack. It's like a bazooka. And Neptune has kind of a repeating gun. Noir has a crossbow, and then Vert, who I can't imagine I'll use too much, she has a sniper rifle. And these kinds of games, I'm not sure sniper rifles are particularly handy. And sorry, I probably will not be able to respond to anybody's comments until I've either lost this battle or I've won it. I can't imagine I'm going to win it. But anyway, I'll respond to all your comments afterwards. But the boss battles actually feel better than the regular combat. I think it's because you're just targeting one enemy and they're quite large, so it's an easy to hit target. So it's got some... oh, cool! I did something cool. Oops. It's got some kind of shmup-like enemy attacks, so you need to dodge between a huge range of flying projectiles. And I think I'm actually winning... Oh, that got hit. I think I'm actually winning this battle. Because that's the enemy health at the top there, and I'm doing alright. I've lost less than half of mine. He's lost most of his. I hope the music's good. That was the thing, the music is not great. I mean, it's typical Neptunia music when you're just playing the normal levels, but if this is all this V-idle stuff going on in the background, if the music's pretty good as for these boss battles, that could be pretty cool. If it's all like licensed VTuber music or whatever they do. Hey! I won it! I won it! Yeah, so Dave, thanks for the tips. Unfortunately, I'm just not set up for that right now. I'm not playing with a headset on. And all of my headsets use USB dongles. And unfortunately, the PlayStation 5's run out of USB dongles, so that's unfortunately out. So, yeah. But, yeah, I figured the sniper rifle wouldn't be particularly useful. And thankfully, Vert's not my favourite character anyway, so I don't mind not using her. I can see Noir's hair's glitching again, beaten on easy. It's quite obvious now. Thanks for pointing that out to me. That's all I'm going to be able to see now as I play. That's it. Yeah, I think it would be easy for me and you. They didn't do anything. They did nothing. It was all up to the goddesses. So just to fill you in the backstory, because you may have missed it at the start of the stream, I did say that I'd skipped through the first hour or so of cutscenes. Basically, all of these characters have been drawn into this virtual world by this Feyre character because their world has been attacked by these kind of monsters, and they've all been recruited to be the saviors of this world, and that's pretty much the entire concept of the game. Not sure why it took them an hour to explain that, but it did. And that's it. Oh, there's a plot twist. The last 2.5 hours of play or whatever has just been this grand test, and he wasn't really a real bad guy. Cool. I imagine that we're in for a lot of cutscene again now from this, so let's settle in for a bit of reading. Feyre, can you explain what's going on? It's all very visual novel-like. Here we are. I like games which have long cutscenes as well. I mean, I'm a huge fan of visual novels, and when you think about it, visual novels are just one long cutscene, but it makes me a little bit antsy when I'm on a stream because it doesn't show you the most exciting gameplay, and I wanted to show gameplay from this thing. Get a breath or a smoke. Yeah, there you go. That's true. It is very true. Like when you're playing a Kojima game like Death Stranding and the final cutscene is longer than most movies are. I think it was like a hour and a half, 90-minute cutscene or something. The end of Death Stranding. That was pretty cool. Oh yeah, for sure. I'll definitely be talking about the gameplay, but you know, that's the kind of thing people want to see. I mean, everybody knows that a Neptunia game is going to have funny characters saying wacky things, and you're certainly seeing that through this stream. But what people are perhaps not as aware of what this game is what kind of gameplay it is. It's not really a traditional Neptunia game. It's not much of an RPG at all, at least so far. It's much more an action game, just a pure action game really, third-person shooter or Dynasty Warriors like Brawler. Yes, 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 Neptune, protagonist of all protagonists. Which Nep RPG are you talking about? There we go, tutorial's over. I'm guessing about 2 hours I started. Probably did about 90 minutes of play last night, and then we're 32 minutes into the stream. So the tutorial's a 2-hour long one. Super Neptunia RPG. Yes, that was an interesting experiment. I've got to say it wasn't my favourite game in the world, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was fun. And it was certainly an interesting alternative look at Neptunia as a character and stuff. So I'd like to see them do another one if they ever get the chance. I think there's a lot of potential in that studio and that particular type of gameplay for the Neptunia series. Okay, now we're out of the virtual world and we're going to be dropped into the real world as such. It looks much the same. Lots of screens though. Maybe that's how you figure out where you go next in the world. I wonder if I can get rid of this text box. Oh, you can. Cool. There is meant to be a photo mode, which I haven't got yet. I'd love to play with the photo mode with this one. And as gross as it probably sounds, the short skirts is certainly appealing in when it comes to Compile Hut and photo modes. But yeah, I haven't unlocked that yet, so I can't show you that. But they are very short skirts. Even by the series standards, I mean. Where'd the other two go? That's true. Ah, here they are. Whole gang's together again. So since we do have a bunch of Neptunia fans here, do let me know which of your favourites in the series is so far. Of all the Neptunia games, do you have any favourites? I mean, for me, I'd probably say, funnily enough, Hyperdimension Neptunia MK2, so the first sequel. That one's probably my favourite of all, and that was my first Neptunia game. I actually missed the original, so I never played it. I played it when they remade it later on, but I never played the original Neptunia. And yeah, MK2 on the PS3 was my first Neptunia, and to this day I think it's my favourite. I think perhaps because it was just so new, so all the jokes were just, you know, spot on, and they just made me laugh so much. But as a whole, I love the series. Rebirth 3 is also very good, I agree. Oh! There we go. Save time. I'll just quickly save. Hopefully it doesn't stop the stream. Nope. Cool. I'm still here. Ah, we get another little cutscene. Well, that's not a great font. That is not a good font. Wow. Let's just chalk that up to Neptunia. Typical rough edges. Yeah, some of those extra characters are pretty good. I like Pishi. And Uzumi is pretty cool too. And that's pretty fair as well. I mean, they all kind of roll together anyway. All the character, all the game names, they all kind of, they just roll together. So yeah, narrative arcs is probably the way to go. I've only ever owned the Neptunia games digital as well because, amongst other things, they did not get released in Australia. I mean, I think I've seen maybe one copy of one Neptunia game once in one store in all of Australia. They're not exactly big, you know, sales tickets. So yeah, please do. I'd be interested to see what this particular scene looks like with the text, because that is clip art text. That is. Oh, lots of pretty VTubers. I've always wondered why I haven't got into VTubers, because I think I'd like them, but there you go. I still don't. The only one I know is Kazuma, of course. And I doubt she'd be in this game, right? She doesn't show up, does she? I mean, look at the colours. Neptune, Noir, blank, and the green. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to let this affect my review. I'll say that now, because I'm just going to chalk it up as something I can forget. But wow, that font. I mean, the other JRPG series, since we're talking about owning physical versus virtual or whatever, the JRPG series I have always tried to buy physical has been the Atelier series. That's a collectible thing. I actually got into Atelier roughly the same time as I got into Neptunia, because the first Atelier I played was Verona on the PlayStation 3, and I have tried to own all of those in physical form where I can. Yeah, the font is definitely headache-inducing, and it is out of focus. That's not just the quality of the stream. That's not what you actually saw there was actually what I saw as well. It was fuzzy. Clip art style, I'm telling you. Oh, okay. So Feyre has forgotten all of these characters. She must be under some kind of curse or something. Interesting target for the amnesia that is typical of JRPGs, to actually make the kind of the catalyst for all these characters being in this world, being the one that has the amnesia. That's a cute little quirk. This series has always remained very self-aware, of course, so it was inevitable that there would be some character that experienced amnesia at some point. Nep always falls from the sky. She would learn from now. Yeah, you're right. But does Nep ever strike you as a person that learns things? I say that as look at her face on the screen right now. She does know pudding, I'll give her that. Funny story, actually. I didn't really know what a Japanese pudding was at first, because here in Australia, pudding is a different thing entirely. Like it's this cake thing. It's like a fruit cake, basically, in Australia. A pudding. It comes from England, and the kind of the custardy pudding that Neptune has an addiction to. I didn't know that that was also called pudding, because it's called something else in Australia. It's like creme brulee. And I was very confused when the pictures of the puddings were popping up. But then I went to Japan for the first time, and I saw what a pudding was to the Japanese, and it all made sense then. Gotcha, yeah. So you're also based in Japan, are you, Dave? Because this is the first time you've been on a stream. I should have said, welcome to the stream for the first time. I don't think you've been on the stream before, so it's great to have you here. You and Beaten on Easy are both from Japan. Well, you both live in Japan now, so I will hopefully join you soon enough, if I can ever travel again. I'm not too many years away from up and moving to Japan. Oh, okay. Well, sorry for saying you're from Japan then. Yeah, I understand that a lot of people kind of move to Japan and then move back because it is a different lifestyle and it's quite tough living in Japan. I know that much. So they're going to go and repeat the entire story because the Feyre they saw in the virtual world was just an AI, just in case you haven't been following along with all this cutscene. And then the Feyre here is the real Feyre, and they don't know each other, so they have to re-explain the whole thing. Ah, right, I see. So you're an expat working at a foreign company, were you? Like a multinational or something? I am looking forward to moving to Japan. I mean, I'm lucky in the sense that I've got family, so it's going to be relatively easy for me to set up over there. My Japanese is nowhere near good enough yet, though. So I'm hoping to find alternative ways to work in Japan without necessarily working for a Japanese company, because I'll be in trouble if I'm relying on that. That's a good one. I like that. You'll know you're good enough. You'll know your Japanese is good enough when people stop telling you your Japanese is good. I like that. Oh my goodness. So our first little mission is to go to this nation called Neotube, where it is a lively nation overflowing with energy where video content thrives. Oh, makes me feel dirty just saying that word. It's a bad word. Oh, Noir doesn't like the idea of being an idol. I think Noir would be quite a good idol. There's always got to be a Sun, and she would fill that role nicely. Okay, moving through it. Oh, you'll be even... Oh, there we go. There's the crux of the game. You will be more than just idols, you will become virtual idols. They are better. Oh, you're right, actually. Producing Perfection. The Neptunia girls were idols in Producing Perfection on the Vita. I liked that game a lot, actually. I forgot about it for a second there, but I really did enjoy it. I was one of the few. I think if you look up the Metacritic for Producing Perfection, I think the average is like 40, and I think I gave it 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. Ah, those were the days. When I first got listed on Metacritic, that was about the time of Producing Perfection. Basically, every single time I review one of these games, I give it a good score, and then I get flooded by people that were very upset with me enjoying video games. Doesn't happen that much these days. I think I banned most of them, but yeah, those were the days. Oh, that's a pity you've not been able to play that in English. But I'm sure your Japanese would be more than up to the standard to play that one. It was pretty humble in terms of its the language. From memory, it wasn't too narrative focused or anything. Yeah, I really enjoyed the Vita TV as well. I've still got one under my TV just sitting there. I really wish I could hook it up to my Elgato to do like streams and things, because it'd be really great to stream some Vita games, but it blocks HDMI kind of through Elgato big time. Hey, there we go. They have been idols, but they have never been Hatsune Miku. There we go. There's a man after my own heart. Hatsune Miku is my special idol. I'm not sure if you know, Dave, but I have I kind of went big on the Miku collection, especially early on. I still buy the figures, but I've got like 60 Miku figures around my house, and I've got one of the dolls, and yeah, I kind of adore Miku. I spent over 1,000 hours in one of the video games. It's crazy. They're still talking. 51 minutes in, I fought one boss battle and they've just talked for the rest of it. It is fun. It's like it is fun dialogue, so I'm sure people watching this back afterwards will get a sense for the kind of humour that this game offers anyway. It's pretty charming. Oh, cool. Yeah. News is pretty cool as well. I like, yeah. Yeah, Vocaloids are good fun. I do like them. Not just Miku. Miku is by far my favourite, but I also have the oh, what's her name? The other rhythm game that was on the PlayStation Vita with a different idol, different Vocaloid. What's her name? I've just had a mental blank and I can't even think of it. The pink-haired one. I also have her CDs and stuff. Oh, that's embarrassing. I've just completely forgotten her name. I'll think about it when I get off the stream and I'll feel like an idiot. I'll type it madly into the description of this thing. Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Beaten on easy, I will try to capture some video of this next boss battle. I doubt we'll get to it in this stream. Oh, Persona Dancing All Night, that was good fun too. Rise in her Arabian armor costume was certainly an eye-opening thing for me. I actually played that in the arcade in Japan once. I didn't realise that they did an arcade version of Persona 4 Dancing, but it was a really fun arcade machine. Live guns. Live guns. They've all got live guns. Yeah, we're not going to get to that next boss battle on this stream, but what I'll probably do is another stream of this game so I can show gameplay off as opposed to this cutscene stuff. So yeah, we'll do that in the next day or two. We'll see how... Oh, I will get up to the boss battle that time. Oh! You get to use your camera to take footage of all your heroic actions for the world to see. They're just encouraging you to get voyeuristic with this game. Yes, I am. I am indeed married to a Japanese woman, so... Cool! I'm glad you've been a sub, and... I'm glad I've been interesting enough, and it's good to have you on the streams. You know what this plot is actually reminding me of a little bit now, because you're doing... you're now, all of the characters are going to act as idols and use their heroics to inspire the people. It kind of feels like a retread of Amiga Quintet, which was the launch compile heart game on the PlayStation 4 quite a few years ago now. Basically the same same concept, but very different in execution. Amiga Quintet was a turn-based RPG. But yeah, Idea Factory has returned to its stock. It's pretty cool. Oh, there we go, Suntory Tokai. Nice choice. I approve a great deal of that. I bought a bottle of Suntory something or other a couple of weeks ago, and I've been scared to open it because it's good whiskey and it was money I probably shouldn't have spent, but I did, and now it's just sitting there. It's going to be my special occasion one now. When I hit 2,000 subscribers, that's when I'll break that out. Yeah, that's right, you got to live a little sometimes. And Suntory's worth living for, I guess. You've got to break out, celebrate life at times. There was this one time we stayed at a ridiculously good hotel at in Hakone, and in that hotel there was this really nice kind of leather chair lounge bar thing, and I decided I was going to go through every single one of the scotches. There was one scotch which would have been $100 for a glass, which was stupidly expensive, stupid thing for me to spend money on, but I was like, it's like a 21-year-old scotch, I'm going to give it a go, and it was probably the best thing I've ever had to drink in my life. I'll never do that again, but every so often you've got to be a bit decadent, I guess. And yeah, it is definitely much cheaper in Japan. That's one of the things I miss about Japan, because I haven't been obviously since this pandemic hit. But the lack of tax on alcohol is amazing. The fact you can go to get like, a bottle of wine or sake for 100, 200, 300 yen when you're feeling like you're drinking on the cheap. The cheapest bottle of wine you'll ever get in Australia is $10. Beers, a 6-pack of beers is like $22, $23 these days. It's an expensive habit. So these are the enemies. We haven't actually seen them yet in this stream. Yes, from 7-Eleven, you can get them from convenience stores. It's just great. I love walking to the convenience stores and being like, I can liquor up here. It was the special place, Japan. So these are the enemies. You see them in like the opening cutscene, but we haven't seen them on the stream to date. There's like the head there, the floating head is Hero, and then I can't remember what her name is, but she's a redhead wearing a leotard, so therefore she's bad, but must be good. Yeah, Family Mart's great as well. Convenience stores are so convenient in Japan, like genuine convenient, and I know that sounds stupid to say, but convenience stores in Australia, you're looking at 200% markup on candy bars and bottles of soft drink, and that's basically all they sell. But in Japan, the Family Marts and 7-Elevens, the convenience stores, they all have like proper lunches and nice sandwiches and alcohol and it's like everything you need you can get from there. Melon pun. You can get melon pun from convenience stores. So that's a pretty cool background. One thing I've always liked about Hyperdimension Neptunia and Idea Factory games in general, They have this really weird sense of creativity, which is just, it's oddball. Those backgrounds you wouldn't see in any other game. And they don't make a lot of sense. Like, why are there planets just floating around in the air there? But they're fun. These games are just so much about being fun and self-aware. I love them. Lawson egg salad sandwiches. Cool. Yeah. For me, it was always cuts. Sounds nothing like a good cuts. Pork, beef, doesn't matter. Either or. And chicken karaage. They're like the sets for most Japanese TV. You're so right, and I've never actually thought about that, but you are so totally right. They look exactly like Japanese TV show sets. And they never make sense either, I agree. So true. Cool, I think we're getting close to some kind of gameplay again. After all of that. There we go, like this is actual gameplay. So we'll give this a bit of a go, assuming that we can. We made it, yes we did. Or is it another cutscene? Thanks a lot. Yeah, you're probably right, it's another cutscene. They do like to talk. They talk. It's just an American joke. What the heck is that? I would be incredibly interested to know just how they translated that to arrive at Nep American. Like, the context of that translation, that one line would be fascinating to see side by side with the Japanese version. What in the world is a Nep American joke? Yeah, please do check. I want to know what a Nep American joke is in Japanese. Just... yeah. Wow. Oh, I see. So you were based in Osaka, were you, Dave? Must admit that the city I haven't spent too much time in. We've been a couple of times to do the tourist thing. Of course, we went to the shopping street, Universal Studios a couple of times. I've been to the castle, of course, but yeah, I'm not too familiar with Osaka. I'm very much based in Tokyo and Yokohama as my kind of basis when I'm in Japan. Yeah, please do. If you can, I would just text me or message me, DM me on Twitter or whatever, because I really want to know what the root of that is. And I want to know how they translated it to arrive at Nep American joke. Have we got gameplay? Have we got gameplay? Not yet. Not yet. We're getting close. I'm sure we are. Oh, I see. You're a fan of the north part of Japan. Aomori, Sendai, Akita. They're all very nice places. Indeed. I mean, my favourite place in Japan would be probably Gifu. I really like Gifu City. And I like that Gifu City is about a half hour away from Sekigahara. And as a fan of Japanese history, Sekigahara it's just a dream to wander around that town and battlefield. It's like a town of 10,000 people. It's a very small town, but Sekigahara would be my favourite place, I think, in Japan. Gifu's fun too. It's a nice city. It's only about 1 million people, but they've got a nice city going there. And it was because it's the birthplace or the home of Nobunaga Oda. They've got this big gold statue of Oda. His castle's up on the mountain. You can actually the castle mountain is so high that you can actually see the curvature of the earth from the top of it, and it's a pretty good trip. I really enjoyed Gifu. The north is really lovely too. Really, really lovely. We're actually making the video, so the gameplay in this game is when you're making the videos to make everyone inspired. If you've been following along with the plot, and it looks like Nep Nep's about to go and do her thing. Is she going to? Oh no, they're actually doing an introduction for all the characters. Over 2 hours into the game, they've decided to do like a comedic entry of each of the characters. Oh, there we go. That is certainly an elegant bit of fan service there. Lovely bit of art. Ouch. Vert. That's just cruel. Flat forward. Goddess of Destruction and Small Chests. It's good to know Idea Factory's never lost that. It doesn't matter how popular their games might get. And how much heat they might get from those games. They're never going to stop doing these things. Four Goddesses, that is a great game. I really enjoyed Four Goddesses. What a clever parody of MMOs that was. Ibaraki, Ehime, Fukuoka. There's one place in Japan I've always really wanted to go, just never had the chance because it's incredibly inconvenient to try to get there. I've always wanted to go to Ogasawara Islands, which, for people who don't know, are one of the more southernmost parts of Japan. They're very deep into the Pacific Ocean. They're these tiny little islands that don't have many people. You can only get there by a ferry from Tokyo, which takes like 2 days or something to get there. And if the weather's bad, because it only goes once a week, you're stuck there. So it's been very inconvenient to try and get there, but Ogasawara Islands has always been a big goal for me. If you look at pictures, and you can spell it out on Google like I'm saying it, Ogasawara, you look at pictures, it's just the most beautiful little tropical islands. Very untouched kind of paradises. And funnily enough, actually considered part of Tokyo, it's still administered in terms of the politics, the government. It's administered by the Tokyo government. So. They're not going to get huge unless they hurry up and start doing stuff. Do stuff. Come on, do something. Do something. Ah, no. Another CG. They've done that little introduction at least 3 or 4 times. They do it at the start of the game a few times as well, so they're getting a good boost to their popularity. I bet their YouTube subscriber base jumps as a result of this game. I don't know how popular they actually are at the moment, but being the kind of the lead VTubers in a video game must have been a dream for them, so good on the people behind them. Oops, didn't mean to pause there. Yes, okay, we got it. You're going to save the world together. Now are you actually going to do something? Nope. So when you said the next boss was about an hour away beaten on easy, did you mean immediately after the next cutscene? Because it's still going. They only have 2.06 thousand subscribers. Wow. Only a little bit more than me. Why didn't they invite me to be on this game? That's going to be a huge boost for them, because I can guarantee you that people playing this game, the people who would be interested in playing this game, will certainly be interested in going and discovering what a VTuber that they haven't come across must be. Yay! We got to some gameplay. We got to some gameplay. Unfortunately, there's like a cutscene icon right there. And now I'm scared to go and trigger it, because it might be another hour's worth of cutscene. I don't want to do that. I'm scared. Long startup time is kind of an understatement. We've now played for at least 2.5 hours, and all I've done is a tutorial dungeon, which wasn't very long, a boss, which wasn't too tough, and that's it. About 2 hours worth of cutscenes. This must have been written by Kojima or something. Alright, we're going to do this. We're going to do one battle, and then we're going to run into this enemy. We'll get a cutscene. Beaten on easy has promised me a battle, so... What is that? Wara Duga. That must be like the boss, I would imagine. That's the new enemy we're going to be fighting towards. Now, citizens of NeoTube, how is the content? We just updated the nation for the other... Come on. Come on. Come on. Content. Yeah, I would imagine that this is definitely... Because you see, Nook Gaming, in this, at the moment, we're saving the world of NeoTube. And the enemy is Wara Wara Duga. So I think you're right. I think it's like a play on Nico Nico, and they're attacking the YouTubers. Please stop asking to subscribe. While I have you, actually, if you are not already a subscriber to this YouTube channel, please do subscribe to us. That way you will not miss a single video that we upload as we do them. And you will also have the chance to jump in on these streams when we do them. Okay, that was a bad joke. What kind of video service would charge me what I make in a whole month? That's Netflix, right? Why can't I skip the ads anymore? Wow, people are really going hard on Nico Nico here. Must have a bad reputation in Japan now. I just want to go back to when it was fun. I didn't know that Nico Nico's kind of dropped off. I didn't know this. I'm learning so much from this game. And they say that video games aren't educational. I do know that you must be a fan of Nico Nico. If you like the Love Live. Oh, okay, that's good to know, beaten on easy. Thank you for clarifying that. I'm glad that Nico Nico's pivoted to counter the growth of YouTube for VTubers and whatever in Japan. There we go. I think we got a battle now. We were promised. Hey, in this nation, video content is the thing. See, this game really does make me grind. It grinds my gears. Content, the dirtiest word in the video game industry. We'll make quick work of that Waka Waka dumbass. I love you, Neptune. Okay, now we got a battle. You're actually going to see a little bit of gameplay right now. Here we go. So when you play as these characters, like I said, there's two different forms of gameplay, and I'll swap between them both so you can see them both. There's this one, which is like a third-person shootery thing, and then you can change, and then it becomes like this Dynasty Warriors thing, which I think is neat. I actually like the different gameplay styles. I don't know if there's any particular reason for it, but they do it, and I like it. I like what I like. And you can change between them, and then you can change between all the different characters at will, of course. And this is Noir with her lovely pintails. And that very nice short skirt. Let's give Vertigo, shall we? Let's give her a run. Oh, that's Blanc. Where's Vert? There's Vert. So she's got a sniper rifle. Which is just... Sniper rifles are just so pointless in this kind of game, I swear to God. I'm not doing any damage here. Sniper rifle's not even doing any damage. Not, just not worth it. Let's go back to Nep. So, as I said, I think quite early on in the stream, I find the controls to be a little bit twitchy at the moment. I'm getting better at it in comparison. If you had have seen me during the tutorial section, I was really struggling with it, but I'm getting slightly better at it. And yeah, that's that. Alright, so on that note, can I save here if I'm in here? Can I actually save here? Why can I not save? Anyway, on that note, I will finish the stream up now. I've gone much longer than I actually intended to at the start of the night. So I wanted to thank everybody for joining me and having such a great chat as I've been playing. I hope this was interesting. I will, of course, have a review of this on digitallydownloaded.net when I've had a chance to dig more deeply into it and get it finished. In the meantime, I will try and get another stream done so you can see a bit more gameplay if you happen to be around for it. Otherwise, have a great week for the rest of the week. And we will see you at the next one, once I work out how to turn broadcast off.